From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Well, good morning, everyone. We have got a lot to talk about. You know, we've got a big, broad area to talk about, and this is one of the things that we mention and a lot of people talk about. We've got a lot of microclimates in this area. And with these microclimates, we're talking surf advisories, we're talking fog advisories out there. We're talking about flood potential out there for some of us. So it's just a lot. And I'm not expecting any major catastrophes. This is not a major event. But with the saturated ground on the coast, any heavy rainfall we see, we've got the potential for more flooding. Fog is obviously a concern if you're in the valley, especially southward around Chico and south of that. And of course, the beach hazards. If you're going to be out on the beach, that can be a little dangerous as well. So let's get you right into it and kind of not waste any more time. We're going to break from the wet weather today. For the most part, it's the calm before the storm, but the rain returns Wednesday with snow levels dropping, especially by Wednesday night into Thursday. But then mainly dry but cool by Friday and through the weekend. However, Saturday, I'm tracking the potential for a little bit of wet weather. Most of the fog, I think, is going to be south of our area, although some of it is creeping its way northward in places like Chico, Oroville, like we saw yesterday. Okay, now, especially along the Sacramento River, around Redding, around Anderson, Red Bluff, we could see some patchy fog there as well, but the densest fog will be down to our south, and that'll be through at least the mid-morning hours. Now, we take a look at our forecast for today. It's dry, it's mild. Temperatures today are going to be a lot like they were yesterday. And I do expect dry conditions across the board, including the coast, the inland areas, and not to mention in Trinity County as well. This is what I've got my eyes on right here, an atmospheric river that is aimed right at the Pacific Northwest. That's where the rain is going to be today. That will eventually hit us by tomorrow. Behind it, the speckled clouds, cold and unstable air. Now, this will drop our snow levels, as I mentioned, and we'll get into that a little bit more detail here in a second, but also could bring us a potential for some thunderstorms as that moves on through. So let's take a look at Futurecast. This is the latest data coming in here. You can see it's dry for today. There's that rain moving in tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. This is when we have the potential for some more flooding, especially in Del Norte and parts of Humboldt counties inland along the coast as well. Then as we go into the mid-morning hours, heavier rainfall possibly in the valley. Don't look at this and go, wow, we've got a ton of rainfall. Yes, it could be heavy at times, but this tends to kind of overdo it. It makes it look worse than it actually is. Notice not a lot of snow on the map here. We have to go above 6,000 feet for most of Wednesday before you start seeing those snowflakes. They will start to drop behind this though, but still not terribly low. This is when we could see thunderstorms Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, including parts of the valley. Now we're starting to see snow levels from 6,000 to 7,000 feet to say 5,000 to 6,000 feet. So still fairly high, but now the colder air is in place. 6 a.m. on Thursday, there's the next batch of rain coming in, and now it's snow. Mount Shasta City, you can see snow. Weaverville, Hayfork, it's going to be maybe a mix, okay? That, I think, is going to be the best potential for you. And then, of course, out towards El Turris, Chester, Susanville, the typical places, yes, I think you're going to see some accumulating snow out of this. Then we go into Thursday, 5 p.m. We're still seeing that patchy snow out there. Chain requirements, I'm sure we're going to have all kinds of problems here on those mountain highways. Let's start with the estimated rainfall totals. We could be looking at upwards of a ½ an inch or more for some of us in the valley, with most of the rain obviously along the coast. Here are your forecast snow totals. Now, yesterday on social media, I showed you a map with some snow totals, and they were a lot higher than what you're seeing here. This right here is the in-house forecast model, and it is a lot more accurate and precise. We were looking at a long-range forecast model yesterday, and that's why we were seeing so much more snow. So that was looking more promising. This one not looking so promising. I think we could pick up an inch or two for places like Mount Shasta, Chester, not to mention El Tourist, but you can see it's not going to be a ton of snow, but it could create some problems on those mountain highways. I don't think we're going to see snow in Weaverville, Hayfork. As I mentioned, maybe a mix, but that's going to be really the best of it. There you can see the flood alert here for Del Norte, Humboldt County. That is for tonight through Wednesday night. And we take a look at long range now. We're going to take you into Friday. You see how it dries out. We're going to take you into Saturday. This is when we can see the potential for some wet weather, especially to the north and west. But I have included parts of the valley, and not to mention even the eastern mountains, especially for Saturday evening. Sunday, it dries out, and it looks like it'll stay dry for Monday, Tuesday, even into Wednesday of next week. Maybe toward the end of next week, a chance for some more wet weather. Your wave heights today, not a good idea to be out on the water. Those wave heights are high today, but they will start to drop as we go into your Wednesday. There's that beach hazard statement. We talk about sneaker waves. The water looks calm when you're out there by the ocean, but you can get that big rush of water that can sweep you off your feet. So be aware of that. That'll be the danger and the hazard along the coast, not to mention the surf advisory for the same time frame from 4 p.m. tonight through 8 a.m. that is on Wednesday morning. There you can see marine forecast, small craft advisory. Of course, we've got the high waves, the strong winds. Again, a bit on the hazardous side here on the waters, and not to mention on the beach. Temperatures mid-60s today. We're going to be looking at a mixture of some sun and clouds. It's not going to be completely sunny out there, but you will see some cloud cover out there. Temperatures today a lot like they were yesterday, as a matter of fact. There's your 7-day outlook. Snow levels starting up high Wednesday, dropping on Thursday, dry on Friday, and then there again with that activity coming in Saturday. Looks like fairly high snow levels with that chance for rain on Saturday, but overall it's not going to be a ton. Again, maybe a chance for some evening showers here for parts of the valley, in particular around the Redding area, but slimmer chances. Now, you see how we're in the mid-60s. We're dropping down to the 50s and staying there at least through Saturday, and we're back in the low 60s here by the time we get into Sunday and Monday. Here's your 7-day outlook for the North Coast, and of course we've got the rain, heavy at times, especially for Wednesday morning. Thursday, more showers, maybe even some thunderstorms in there. And by the way, the valley could see those afternoon thunderstorms. And then on Friday, it dries out, maybe more showers on Saturday. And as I mentioned, I expect dry conditions here for Monday through the middle of next week.